One of the campaigns that involves the whole of the British Army really for the first time is the campaigns in South Africa, what we call the Second Boer War from 1899 to 1902. Most of the regular units of the British Army served there, I think nearly every infantry regiment, and it involved not just the regular soldiers from the professional army, but a great many volunteers. So one of the regular battalions, the 1st from the Border Regiment, served there, and nearly 400 volunteers over the course of 1900 through to 1902 from Cumberland and Westmoreland, who were part-timers, they had no obligation to serve overseas, went out to join them to serve in South Africa. So a long war, quite an awful lot of manpower. We have a lot of mementos of the war, and one of the things that we have a lot of examples of is this wonderful frame thing that we have. This is a framed Queen Victoria's chocolate box. These were sent out to the troops at Christmas, New Year, 1899-1900. We have an image of our soldiers actually opening the crates with these boxes in that contained chocolate. It was a gift from the Queen, and it continued a tradition really that had begun at the time of the Crimean War, 1854 to 56, when the troops really did suffer, and there was a wave of popular feeling from the monarch downwards to just ordinary folk that we needed to send something out, so people knitted socks and all the rest of it. And it continued a tradition which carries right on today. We have collections that include modern gift boxes sent out to troops at Christmas in Iraq and Afghanistan. So there we are. This particular frame, it's got the chocolate box in the middle. The chocolate was made by Fry's, Rowntrees and Cadbury's, 3 of the best known makers. And when they were asked to do it, they wanted to supply it in plain boxes, as they were all Quaker families and obviously pacifists. But the Queen insisted, so they produced these boxes. We have several in the collection that have never been opened and still have their chocolate in them. But this was received by Private George Titley, who joined the regiment as a regular soldier, came from Battersea in London, and were really very, very lucky because his service papers survive in the National Archives. So we know when he joined, when he served, and he served right through till late 1901 when he came back to England, and he was discharged. Obviously serving in South Africa had an effect on his health, but he preserved this and he had it framed. So in the frame we have the chocolate box in the centre with Queen Victoria's head on one side of it. On my left we have a 303 rifle bullet, which is the British rifle bullet. On the other side, on my right, we have a round from a Mauser rifle, which is what the Boers used, and there's a clip at the bottom from the rifle. And then at the top, an empty cartridge case and a 1901 dated British penny. So the year that he came home and his military service ended. And he obviously thought a great deal about it, so he had it framed. And then several generations later it's been passed on to us in the museum. So a super thing. And the other really important thing for us, being based here in Carlisle, is that one of the contractors to make the boxes was the then named company Hudson, Scott and Sons Limited, who people know locally better as Metal Box. It's now I think Crown Bevcan or some other modern name, but universally known as Metal Box in Carlisle. But Hudson Scott's made some of the tins, so there is that local link as well. What is also important is it is this business of remembering the soldiers when they are overseas. Really very, very special. Although George Titley's military service ended in 1901 and he moved back down south to London, it wasn't the end of it. In September 1914, then well into his 30s, I think he was 39, he re-enlisted, but was discharged because he simply wasn't medically fit enough. But undeterred, he re-enlisted again in 1915, and again was discharged because he just couldn't do it. He obviously had suffered health deterioration from his service some 15 years before. So he was finally discharged, age 42, and although he didn't get any medals for the First World War, he received a Silver War badge, which is recorded in his papers, in recognition that he had served and was discharged owing to health reasons. So a whole story behind a very, very simple tin box.